सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। Hari Om. Salutations to all. So in the Kaivalya Upanishad, sixth mantra spoke about pointers of the self, which are Nirguna and Nirakar pointers, Achintyam, Avyaktam, Anantarupam. Then we saw the Upasana of the Sagun Sakar, Uma Sahayam Parameshwaram Prabhum Trilochanam Neelakantham Prashantam. And then meditating on this Sagun Sakar Roop, what happens? Dhyatva Munir Gacchati Bhuta Yonim Samasta Sakshim Tamasa Parastat. One attains the Supreme, one realizes the source, Bhuta Yonim. And that is the Sakshi of all, it is in the hearts of all as the self, as consciousness. It is beyond all darkness of ignorance. Its nature is Jnanam. So, having said, so both of them will lead a person to ultimate realization. The Nirgun Nirakar Nididhyasan also, where it is said, Shivam Prashantam Amritam Brahma Yonim. It is that which is Brahman, it is the source of everything. Again here it is said Bhuta Yonim. So whichever form, whichever path one follows, whether one says Sagun Sakar or Nirgun Nirakar, both will ultimately lead to the realization. Because both are upasanas. Both will make the mind single pointed. And through Nididhyasan on my true nature as the self, one comes to realize this Atma. Now, what is that Atma? It is not some tiny little thing somewhere inside us. It is that same truth which appears as the creation as well as the phenomenal forces as well as the supreme creator. So now that is explained here in the 8th mantra. Sa Brahma sa Shivaha Sendraha Sokshara Paramasvarat Sa eva Vishnu sa pranaha sa kala-agni sa chandrama. So that self which is in us, which is the Atma, that only Saha Brahma is Brahma. Sa Shiva is Shiva also. Indra, Sendraha, is imperishable, Aksharaha. Paramaha is the supreme. Swarat is that which is self shining. That alone is Vishnu, Saeva Vishnu. That is prana. And sa kala-agni, even the time, yama, death, fire, agni is fire, kalaha and agni. It's time or yama and even death, agni. Then chandrama is the moon. Meaning the truth in us is the same truth that pervades the creation, is the same truth which appears as all the various phenomenal forces, the devatas, as well as the Trinity, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. So that is Advaita. Essentially, the reality is one, consciousness is one. And the Atma, when we say the truth enlivening the one individual equipment, we call that as the Self or Atma. And the same truth, which is the substratum of the whole world, which is illumining the totality, is called as Brahma. So this Atma is that Brahma. That is the Mahavakya also. No? In the Atharva Veda, Mahavakya is that. Mandukya Upanishad, Ayam Atma Brahma. And so this is like, different ways to understand this. The same person plays different roles. Father, mother, son, friend, employer, all that. So different roles, same person. Same way, one truth is appearing as Brahma, the creator, Vishnu, the sustainer, Shiva, the destroyer, Indra, the giver of rains, Agni, then Vayu, like that, all the forces. Remember, essentially, they are all the same. Function wise, capacity wise, power wise, there is difference. Indra is not equal to Brahmaji and Shivji and Vishnu Bhagwan. Indra is one, Indra is the king of Devatas. Indra is a position which is lower than the Trinity, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. But that is only equipment wise. So a king and a soldier, they both are human beings. But the power of a king is much more than the power of the soldier. Both are human beings, same way. Atma is the same in the cell in Indra, Atma is the same in Brahmaji. But the capacity of Brahmaji and the capacity of Indra are very different. This is talking about the essential nature of the self. And so, when we see this, the idea is to understand oneness. Oneness at all levels. The self in me is the self in the Supreme. Water in the wave is the same water in the ocean. There is no difference. Wave is small, ocean is the totality. But the essence of both of them is same, water only. From water standpoint, there is no wave, there is no ocean. But if I am at the wave standpoint, if I see the wave, then that wave is a part of the whole ocean. And the ocean is mighty, huge. There is no comparison between the power of the wave and the power of the ocean. Wave is just one small, tiny, minuscule part of the ocean. But from water standpoint, both are the same. There is no difference. Same way, there is no difference in the essential nature of the Jiva and Ishvara. But Jiva and Ishvara are, from equipment standpoint, Upadhi standpoint, very different. What Ishvara can do, Jiva cannot do. Because totality is different. It is massive, powerful. Small part of that is the individuality. So if that is understood, so there is oneness at the Jiva Ishvara level, then there is oneness in the forms of Ishvara also. One is appearing in many forms. But I should choose one for my sadhana. I don't have to worship all forms in my daily sadhana. I revere all the forms. I offer prayers, celebrate during various festivals. But in the daily sadhana, one. Because that same truth is appearing as Brahma also, Shiva also, Vishnu also, Indra, all these. And please remember, this is only example. Don't say अब इसमें देवी कहाँ पर है, गणपति कहाँ पर है. अरे this is just to indicate that one truth only is appearing as all the forms of Bhagavan. Somehow that notion is there in our minds, that we should worship everybody. Why take a chance? Why make anybody angry? What if Ganeshji feels upset that today I did not offer flower to Ganeshji? What if Durga Ma is upset? What if Hanumanji gets upset? No, no, no. We have to keep everybody in our altar and do worship of everybody. Everybody's blessings we want. This is the duality. The mind will keep us trapped. But if you ask that person, is God one or many? No, God is one. But if you tell that person, okay, if God is one appearing in so many forms, you remove all the other forms, hold on to one form. No, no, no. I don't want to take a risk. That's how the mind lives in fear. Worship of Bhagwan is to become fearless. But that worship of Bhagwan only is creating unnecessary fear. And I'm holding on to that. It is the same truth. Sa Brahma, Sa Shiva, Sa Indra, Sokshara, Paramaswarat. So why get... At one point in time, you may be playing the role. With relation to your son, you are a father. With relation to your father, you are the son. Or do you put all different pictures? This is me as the father, this is me as the son, this is me as the friend, this is me as the husband. And all of these have to be. Do your family members relate to you in so many ways? The father will relate to you only as his son. You will relate to the son as his father. You will relate to the spouse as a spouse. You may be playing all other roles, but for that person, you are only one, no? One relationship. That person is not invoking you in all other ways. How it will be? Of course, example has a limitation, but the point is what? That we should choose one Ishtadevata and then be focused on the worship of that Ishtadevata. Because ultimately we have to realize that I am also formless, Ishtar is also formless, there's only one infinite consciousness, that is the truth. So this is one aspect of this mantra. Now if we go into the specifics of the words, so Sa Brahma, is Brahma the creator? Self only is Brahma the creator. And Shiva the destroyer. And then Vishnu is the second line. So Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, all the three. Self is that which is appearing as the truth in all the three. Again, please remember, we say three, but this three is only from function standpoint. It is one only who is appearing as three, not only as the self, even as Ishvara. So let us say one example. So if you go to the beach and then you create, as a small child, we used to do all that. Children, we go to the beach and we feel very happy and we put our imagination and then we make some bridge, some garden, some house, Try different type of things we make. Somebody makes a elephant, somebody makes some tree. Each one makes something different, different, different. So if I make this beautiful garden and some city and bridge and all that I make, let us say, from the standpoint of making, I am only the creator. Then I sustain it. If something is crumbling, I again put some water and make it tight and all that. So I'm only sustaining it. And then when after a few hours we have spent good enough time we have had, then I only destroy it. One takes great delight in that also. Jump on it, stomp on it, destroy it fully, go back. So from the standpoint of creator, I may be called Brahma, standpoint of sustaining it, I may be called Vishnu, standpoint of destroying it, I may be called Shiva. Of course, again, example has a limitation. My form does not change. That's limitation of example. Don't say, but Brahma has four heads and he is in Brahmaloka, and Shiva has one Gangaji on his head, and Vishnu Bhagavan is lying on the Sheshanag. You see, forms are all different. If I want, I can take a new form every time. I can create, sustain, destroy. That is the example limitation. Creator of the pot, from the standpoint, is a creator when he creates the pot. Then when he fills some water, sustains it for some time, is a sustainer. Then when he wants to destroy it and create something new out of that same material, he will destroy it. So though they appear as three, they are one, even from the standpoint of the functions, not only as Atma. The same Ishvara is appearing as Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. And so worshipping any one of them is worshipping all of them. Somewhere that confusion has come into the head. Shiva is different, Vishnu is different, and then people are fighting over that with each other. A human mind needs something to divide and fight. It does not spare anything. That is the stupidity of human mind, ignorance of it. The mind will fight on gender, on money, on fame, on so many things, land, people. It was on creating divisions and fighting. Then it will do that in spirituality also. My God and your God. And then the Abrahamic religions have brought this stupid concept, false God and true God. What is false God and true God? That is your fanaticism. Look at this mantra. It is so diverse, so beautiful, saying all forms, you worship any form, you will discover the same truth. That is plurality, that is diversity, yet there is oneness. How can you say that there is all false gods? At one level, yes, we say that, okay, Indra, Varuna, Vayu, they are devatas, they are not supreme infinite consciousness, they are highly evolved jivas. And so we also have a clarity that, okay, they have certain powers, but ultimate truth is Trinity, ultimate beyond that is Brahman. So one has enough clarity. And one says you worship whichever, you will discover the truth finally. There is no fanaticism here. But the other people they bring into it. Then we start wondering. Then fight happens. Shiva is greater, Vishnu is greater, and the case goes on. People have filed cases. People have conflicts on the place name also. Haridwar or Haradwar. Hardwar, Haridwar. Hara is Shiva, Hari is Vishnu. What is that place called? Haridwar or Haradwar? I don't know. I don't know the exact details of it, but I just heard. One can verify it. There's one of the longest standing cases of in the court is of a temple elephant. That what should be put on the temple elephant? The mark of Vishnu Bhagwan should be put as the V, or this bhasma should be put for the temple elephant. Somebody told me, one lawyer only told me, you can verify. And the lawyer finally said, Swamiji, it went on for hundreds of years. And finally, the conclusion came what? They decided one day we will put V, one day we will put Bhasma. Alternate days. Hare, uske liye you did court case for so long. Shivji and Vishnu Bhagwan must be laughing at it, saying, what is this? Because our Puranas don't create all these divisions. Puranas are very clear. Shivasya Hridayam Vishnu, Vishnu Hridayam Shivaha. Worship of, Shivji worship Vishnu Bhagwan worship Shivji. They both are Ishta of each other. They don't have a conflict. Our people, and how much violence between Shaivites and Vaishnavites. Bapre. Now people think religion is creating division. I don't want religion. Are, it is not religion creating division. You open the scripture and see so much of oneness here, at least in our Hindu scriptures here, we have no problem. But human being wants some control, some power. They want to feel superior to somebody and inferior. They feel that others are inferior and I want to dominate and control. That is the ego. The issue is not with religion. The issue is with the mindset. And when I'm talking religion here, I'm talking about mainly Sanatan Dharma. Sanatan Dharma is saying so clearly, Sa Brahma, Sa Shiva. If you see Narayana Suktam also it comes, Sa Brahma, Sa Shiva, Sa Hari, Sendra, Sokshara, Paramaswarat, Pratagam, Satyam, Param, Brahma, Purusham, Krishna, Pingalam, Urdhva, Retam, Virupaksham, Vishwarupa, Yavai Namo Namaha. Is Vishwarupa it is. Bhagwan is all this. Salutations to that Lord who has become this whole world. All the jivas, all the forms of manifestation, they all are divine. Full stop. We revere everybody. And because that is the truth, that is not some imagination. All the waves are what? Ocean in another form. Gurudev used to say that all the effects are nothing but cause in another form. All the pots, cup, pitcher, saucer, everything in this world made up of mud is nothing but mud in another form. So essence is only one. And the more I realize that oneness, the more there will be harmony. Because where there is oneness, there is love. Where I don't see oneness, then all divisions and ego and conflicts, they start. So this is to realize that oneness. So Sa Brahma, Sa Shiva, and then Sa Eva Vishnu. So Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. Even there, they are three, but we see them as one. And they are not sequential also. That also we have to understand. First, Brahmaji creates. Then after that, Vishnu Bhagwan sustains. After that, Shivji will destroy. That is one understanding. The children, when we are told all this and we learn, and at that level, that much only we can understand. As we grow, then our understanding changes. That creation, sustenance, and destruction is happening continuously. It is together, simultaneous. It's not sequential. Why? Because if destruction does not happen, new creation will not happen. If new creation is not there, then that can't be destroyed. And in between this, the gap is the small little interval, that is the sustenance. Continuously, the cells are born also in the body, they are dying also, and they are living for a short while. So it is continuously happening, moment by moment. That is why it is change. So sequential, no. Simultaneous, yes. Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. Then Indra, Saha Indra, that self only is Indra, the king of all devatas, as well as the deity in charge for the rains and the deity in charge of our dynamism, hands, Hastayor Indraha. The capabilities in our hands to grasp, to do whatever we are doing is Indra. Hands are so different. Hands is what makes us so different. When we are on four legs, animals, many things we can't do. From there, we have evolved slowly, whatever that evolution is, Homo erectus, Homo sapien, all that. So from that four legs, slowly, slowly, one has come vertical. And the web which was there, that is gone, and now there are fingers. And then we can grasp things, hold things. So much one can do with the hands. And so the kshamata is Purushartha kshamata, hands. And these hands are what make us uh, very formidable. In biological evolution itself, I am saying. Spiritually, we say this is Purushartha, and one can put in the efforts, one can change. One is not a victim of the past, all that. So, hands, the presiding deity of hands is Indra. So, that Indra also is self. Then I will finish the deities first, then I will come to Akshara Paramaswarat. Then Kalaha. Kala is Yama. Kala is time. Time itself is Yama because every moment change is happening. So Shiva also is mentioned, Kala also is mentioned. Yamaraja has to do his daily duty, pick up the jivas, give them new bodies as per their karma. Yama is Dharmaraj. So Yama means control also. And Yama is God, deity of death. And Yama is Dharmaraj also. So Yamaraj has to do his duties. In our mind, we hold Yamaraj as inauspicious. Think about that. Don't talk about death. Yamaraj, no. Arey, if Yamaraj does not do his duty, we will not get new bodies. He is actually giving us new body. We should be thankful to him. No? Somebody takes away your old phone, gives you the new phone. Will you be scared of that person or will you thank that person? Thank you so much. You gave me a new phone. No. I'm very scared of you. Don't take my old phone. Don't come near me. You are inauspicious. Are I'm giving you a new phone. No, but you're taking my old phone. Our mind is like this only. How silly it looks now when we think about this. Death is this dropping of the old clothes, taking the new clothes. That's the analogy Gita gives. And who is giving you the new clothes? Yamaraj. As per what? Your own karma. He is doing your seva actually. And we are criticizing him, telling him inauspicious, we don't want you, don't come anywhere near us, don't talk to us, don't talk about death, inauspicious to talk about death. As though by talking about death you will die. When you have to die, only you will die. You are not going to die just because you are talking about death. I don't mean about suicide and all that. I mean about in general. Suppose somebody speaks about death, people consider it very inauspicious. Sanatan Dharma, we don't think actually Yamaraj is inauspicious. This is human mind which has created all this. Sanatan Dharma, Yamaraj is a Devata, and Devatas are worshipped, and we worship Yamaraj. Do you know Deepavali is the Parva where Yamaraj is worshipped actually? We have forgotten all that. We are focused only on traveling outside. Deepavali vacations, go out with the family. Go to Switzerland, Thailand, this land, that land. We are supposed to do sadhana that time. Yamaraj, Yamatarpana is done. Yamaraj is pleased. Yamaraj is worshipped. The lamps are lit to avoid Akala Mrityu. Shraddha Karma is done. All that is done in Deepavali. Few years back, I also did not know all this. I was studying, then understood, Acha, this is what Deepavali is meant for. Something else only we are doing today. So we worship Yamaraj. We celebrate Yamaraj actually. Because Yamaraj is doing such seva. Imagine carrying on with the body. The youth now is a very temporary period in life. After that, the body is old only. It keeps on becoming old, old, old. How much can one go on with that body? Yamaraj is actually helping us. You finish your karma, okay, drop this body, I will take you. And he only takes us to appropriate lokas, Yamaloka, Pitruloka. And then based on the karma, he gives the appropriate body. Why should one fear? But mind creates. So that same truth is Yamaraj also. Then Kala, so Kala is Yamaraj. Then Agnihi. So Agni also, see, some of these are mentioned here because we should remember the Vedic times, they are propitiating devatas through Agni, through various rituals, chanting the mantras, doing the ahutis, and through that the devatas are pleased, and Agni is the medium through which the offerings reached Bhagwan. Bhagwan also and devatas also. So Agni is very sacred. Again, for us, fire is not just for cooking. That one aspect of fire is that. But fire is spiritual sadhana. And that fire which is outside, one sees oneness with fire also. You see, if you go into the depth of Sanatan Dharma, I don't think any culture has gone into such depths. How one will realize absolute truth through fire is fantastic. That same fire which is outside is the fire in the body also. The whole metabolism is based on the fire, Jatharagni. Then there is Hridayagni also. One meditates on Bhagwan in the heart as fire. And that same fire, we say, is the self, appearing as the sun, appearing as the Atma in this, enlivening this BMI. That's why I say Saha Agnihi. And Agni is connected to rituals, and one does the worship of Agni. Invoking that Agni is very special. It will come in the next mantras, it will come. How the Arni Manthan is done and Agni Chayanam happens, and the Agni will be manifest from the friction. The wood will be, churned, and the fire which is unmanifest in the wood will manifest. Without any chemicals and all that, the fire will be invoked. And that fire will be used for rituals. And that fire has to be maintained. So in various places in the house, that fire will be there. Fire for the rituals, fire for the kitchen, like the different fires will be there. And then when a person is, one has to continuously sustain that fire. When a person travels, either one carries that fire with one, or one reposes fire into the heart, saying, I am reposing in the heart, and then tomorrow I will, wherever I am, I will re-invoke the fire and worship the fire there. So Agni Upasana happens. So the fire in us, in the physical body, in the spiritual meditation, what we do, in our mind, and the fire outside, and the sun in the creation, one sees oneness in this whole thing. So through any of these elements also one can discover the Supreme. Through Agni, through Vayu, through the Prithvi, through any of them. Here specifically Agni is mentioned because ritual. So Saha Kalaha, Sa Agnihi, only the sannyasi is freed from this daily duty, Nitya Karma of offerings to the Devatas. And that's why sannyasi in the daily sadhana does not do any Agni Karma. Otherwise, one is supposed to do Agni Hotra daily. And offer Indraya Swaha Idam Namama, Prajapataye Swaha Idam Namama, Suryaya Swaha Idam Namama, and do the Agni Hotra. Light the fire, do the offerings, please the Devatas. And also understand that same fire is in me. So there is oneness. When one has purified the mind like that with the daily sadhanas, then upasanas are done. One has body identification which is less. Then one finally takes sannyas. At that point, one is freed from the Agni karma. That's why in the Gita it comes uh, anashrita karma phalam karyam karma karoti saha karyam karma karoti saha sasannyasi cha yogi cha na niragnir na chakriya. Not somebody who is simply not who simply freed himself from any rituals, who does not do any other duties, na akriya and niragni. Who is a sannyasi and who is a yogi? Only a person who does the work with selflessness. Anashrita karma phalam karyam karma karoti. That person can be called sannyasi or a yogi, not somebody who has just renounced ritual and renounced any action. That person is not a sannyasi. Just because you have renounced the ritual and taken orange clothes. No. What one has to renounce? Selfishness, ego, and do the duty with the bhav of seva. That person is sannyasi. That person is a karma yogi. Not somebody who has just renounced doing some rituals. So, in that context, Agni. So, that's why Agni is so important. So, na sa kalaha, sa agnihi, sa chandramaha. That truth is chandrama also. How it is chandrama? Why it is chandrama? Because somo bhutva rasatmakaha. Being chandrama, this plant kingdom, the Aushadhis, all of them are nurtured, nourished by Bhagwan who has become Chandrama. Yadadityagatam tejaha jagadbhasayate khilam yatchandramasi yatchagnau tat tejo vidhimamakam. In the 15th chapter it comes. Whatever is the teja in the sun, the effulgence, the brilliance, the light, the heat of the sun, yadadityagatam tejaha, jagadbhasayate, which illumines the whole world. Yat Chandramasi, and the light of the moon and the fire. Tat Tejo Vidhimamakam. Know that to be my Teja. And the same one is appearing as all the three. So Chandrama. So we worship Chandra. For us, Chandra is not just some planet or whatever you call it, the satellite. It is the Chandrama for us is not just a physical place where the human being is trying to inhabit, find ways and means to live on the moon. For us, Chandra is Devata, and Devata, which is expression of the same truth. So, any of these, when we look at a bhav of a Vedantic, so how does the Vedantic look at the creation? The Vedantic looks at the creation and remembers the self. So, one looks at the sun, one looks at the fire, one looks at the moon. What will one see? If one looks at the clouds, rains, Indra. So, the mind will go to all the Devatas. And who are these devatas? They are Saha. Saha means that self. So the mind will go to self only. Looking at the moon, a romantic person's mind will go to his or her beloved. Poet will start composing poetry. Scientists will start thinking whether water is there on moon or not. What is the next discovery to be made there? What will a Vedantin think? That Chandrama is the glory of the self. I am that self. I am not this BMI. Simple. So looking at the creation, one can go to the source, Brahman. That is Vedantic vision. And looking at the diversity in the creation, one will appreciate it as appearance of one truth. So Chandrama, so we worship Chandrama also. Sharat Purnima, we offer things to Chandrama. Of course, Krishna Bhagavan also. But one worships. So the point is, all these are different devatas. Each have their own functions, but finally they all are appearances of one truth. Now coming to the prana, saprana. So what is prana? Prana is the life-giving vital energy. It is there in all the five elements. It is not only air. So this prana is in in food. The grossest prana is in food. That is from the earth we get. Then from water we drink, we get prana. From the air we breathe, we get prana. In the fire there is prana. So through sunlight we get prana. Proximity of fire also we get prana. Then space. When we do upvas, our prana is conserved. It is energies move upwards. When we do upvas, literally meaning when we don't eat, not today's upvas where we make special food and eat. What upvas is that? Nowhere in the scriptures it is given like this. You make aloo ka chips, aloo ka bhajia. Bhajia you can't eat because cereal one will come in that, but whatever, people make sabudana ka khichdi and rajagra ka lot ka shira and puri and kheer and anything. Are scripture has given simple instruction. Upvas means drink only water. If you can't do that, eat some fruits, little bit, maybe some milk, or eat regular food once, and that too less, very less at night. Nakta bhukta it is called. Eka bhukta, nakta bhukta, and what is that called? Nirahara and falahara. Fal ahar means take the fruits as your food. Falahar. That falahar has become faral, faral, faral. What is faral? There is no faral. There is falahar. Faral ka food, faral ka food. Farali chivda, farali chips, farali. Everything. What is faral? It is falahar. फराल फराल बना दिया और उसके बाद कितना कितना खाना बना के खा रहे. So people like to do upvas then. Why? Because we will get to eat what we generally don't get to eat on upvas day. And we are not supposed to eat anything on that day. So then the prana shakti is conserved. Otherwise prana is going downwards to digest. It will become urdhva. It will turn upwards when we fast, and the willpower of that person who fasts regularly will be very strong. In the proper way, if one does fasting, don't say that I will do fasting with all the food that I am eating. My willpower is not becoming strong, Swamiji. It won't become strong. Willpower will be strong when one is not engaging the mind in the regular food and indulgence, and one is sitting close to Bhagavan, meaning thinking of the Lord, not allowing the mind to go into the sense pleasures, and using that time to turn within. And so body also is not being taxed with energy to uh, digest the regular cereals and food and all that. Body is also getting detoxed. Prana will move upwards. Mind will focus on Bhagwan. That's how upvas is beneficial. So prana is there in all five elements. But please remember, prana is manifestation of the divine through the pranic energy. In this context, prana we should understand as not just the five pranas which are there in this srishti, but what is prana here? So the mukhya prana, what we call the sutratma or Hiranyagarbha, the total mind, that is called prana. One meaning of prana is that total mind is Brahman, is infinite consciousness, and that alone appears as this whole srishti. So even five elements are that only. Five pranas in our body is also that, and the uh, five elements having prana is also that Brahman only, but appearing as the inert things. Five elements are Jadavastu by themselves. So here, don't think that prana is equal to self in the way in which we understand prana, okay? That's what I'm clarifying. How we know prana as pancha prana, prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana, as that pancha prana, which are physiological systems in our body, and the prana which is in the five elements. That is a grossest expression of the prana, Shakti, energy. Self is not that. Self is appearing as that, self is enlivening that. So don't confuse prana is Brahman, and don't quote this saying, see, prana is equal to Brahman. Why? Because Kaivalya Upanishad said, Sa Vishnu Sa Prana. Because that is the confusion people have. They made God into energy. What is God? God is energy. Areha, what energy? That energy which sustains us. Are God is not energy, please. God is consciousness, which is beyond matter and energy. Energy goes on changing. Energy is inert. Energy doesn't know anything. God is sentient. God is Sarvagnya. Is energy Sarvagnya? Energy is a certain thing which is necessary for dynamism, for action, for this life to go on. But energy is not God. Potential energy, kinetic energy, electric energy, all that type of energy is there in this world. Nuclear energy, atomic energy, hundreds of types of energies, and they go on changing. Each energy is inert, it keeps changing. Bhagwan is not changing entity. So don't think God is energy ever. God is that force which enlivens matter, which makes the prana also function. God is the energy behind energy, if you want to say. And I am not saying this, Upanishad says, Kena Upanishad says, Sapranasya pranaha, chakshushas chakshuhu, atimuchya dhiraha, pretyasma lokad amrita bhavanti. It is the prana of the prana, that which makes the prana function. That is consciousness, not prana by itself. So here when you say sapranaha, prana indicates consciousness. Please don't think prana is equal to consciousness. Upanishad has to be understood properly, otherwise full on confusion will happen. Because same word will have different meanings. The word Atma, in many cases, in many mantras, if you will see, the word Atma will mean different things. Body also will be called Atma some places. Mind also will be called Atma in some places. Buddhi will be called Atma. Prana will be called Atma. So then you will be confused. What is Atma? You please define properly. Atma is Brahman. Atma is Sachidananda Swarup. That's all. But the word Atma means I, small. So that I is sometimes used based on the context. So mind also will be called Atma, Prana also will be called Atma, but Atma in its true sense is not this. So one has to be careful, like Sattva Guna. Sattva is a guna, okay? But the word Sattva can be used for mind also. Ahara Sattva, Ahara Shuddhav Sattva Shuddhi. The Upanishad says, Ahara Shuddhav Sattva Shuddhi. Now one will start thinking, if my diet becomes purified, then Sattva Guna will become purified. But sattva guna is already supposed to be purity. Because tatra sattvam nirmalatvat, nirmala means pure. Then what will get more purified in sattva? Now confusion. There sattva means mind. Ahara shuddhau sattva shuddhi means if the ahar is purified, mind will be purified. So sattva word has two different meanings. Same way this prana, one will think sa prana means Bhagwan is consciousness. Bhagwan is prana shakti, energy. God is energy. Saha prana, God energy. No, don't be confused. God is not energy. God is energy behind energy, if you want to say that. Saint consciousness is Bhagwan. So prana indicates that consciousness. Prana indicates that total mind. Some context prana word is used for that. So sapranaha. So even prana, so when we see the physiological systems in the body, 5 elements as prana, what should it remind a Vedantic student? This is all expressions of the self, Brahman, one truth appearing as all this. So from duality one goes to non-duality. Even though perception is of the duality, one is still going to non-duality. This is one sadhana. Instead of negating and saying this is all illusion, this does not exist, sometimes our mind is not able to do that because continuously I am perceiving, I have to negate all the perception. How? It's very exhausting sometimes if one keeps doing that, this is not there, this is not there, this is not there, this is illusory, illusory, illusory. Every moment perception is happening, I have to negate, negate, negate. Deep down, I have to understand this is illusory and then do my duties. So that is one level of sadhana, one way. Other way of doing it is what? Sarvatma bhav. All this is one. That is only this. Next 3 verses are like that. Sarvatma bhav. Everything is one. There is no difference. So I don't have to negate. I have to include, saying all is one only. No problem. Irrespective of any, being, any form, any color, any size, any shape, any caste, community, creed, gender, whatever it is all one truth. Bas, universal vision of oneness. 5 elements, same truth. Different forms of God, same truth. 84 lakh species, same truth. Full negation or full inclusion is in between thing we should not do. If you negate everything, negate all the things which are finite are not real, gone. What is the truth? Satchidananda Swarup Atma. Or everything which is perceived is Bhagavan, is infinite, is consciousness. Purnamadaha Purnamidam. That is also Purnam, this is also Purnam. So Jagat also is Purnam, and if you withdraw from the Jagat, what you realize, that is also Purnam. Infinite consciousness, that is not Shunyam. That is Purnam, this is Purnam. But most of the people, we are thinking we have to realize Shunyam. Withdraw from all this and realize nothingness, blankness, thoughtlessness. We have to realize Purnam, not Shunyam. Our whole attempt is to realize Purnata. Who wants Shunyata, Baba? Shunyata, emptiness is anyway there, identified with this BMI. Murkhata it is. If one is thinking Shunya is the complete, is the final truth. That is Purnam, this is Purnam. So in the withdrawn state also Purnatvam, in the engaging state also Purnatvam. Why? Purnat Purnameva, Purnat Purnam Udachyate. From that which is Purnam, this Purnam has appeared. So it is one only. From the mud only the pot has been created. So pot is nothing but mud in another form. So one can say mud adaha mud idam. Madat madam uchyate. Ghatam uchyate. But because we have Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate. So mada adaha, mada idam, madat madam uchyate. Madasya madamadaya, madam eva avashishyate. From mud, from that pot, if you remove that mud, mud only will remain, not shunya. So prana means that this whole universe is one infinite consciousness, and that only is Brahma, that is Shiva, that is Kala-agni, Vishnu, and Indra. And what is that? It is all forms? No, it is a formless also. Aksharaha, it is imperishable. See, Indra, Agni, Vayu, all these are positions. Brahmaji, all these are also positions. Bhagwan appears in these forms, takes care of the creation. Jivas do meritorious actions, come into the level of Devatas, Indra, Agni, Vayu, all of them. Then their time is over, some other Jiva will come at that point in time. But all are appearances of one truth. For a sadhak, that is important. Which is that truth? Paramaswarat Aksharam. Saha Aksharaha. It is imperishable. That truth is imperishable. And it is Param. There is nothing superior to that truth. So, which means whichever form I worship also, that is the supreme form. I should have that bhavana that I am worshipping the infinite consciousness, the supreme truth through this form. And I will realize that imperishable truth, Aksharaha and Paramaha. If I am doing Nirgun Nirakar Upasana, through that also I will realize that supreme truth. And this supreme truth is beyond Sagun, beyond Nirgun, beyond gross, beyond subtle, beyond manifest, beyond unmanifest. It is supreme. There is nothing beyond that. And that is me. Saha does not mean somewhere out there. That truth is me, is what Vedanta is saying. And it is self-luminous. It does not need anything else to illuminate. Like all the other things need. So I need eyes to see the form. So form can't be illumined without the eyes. The eye must have the capability of seeing, then the form can be seen. Mind is required to back up the eyes. Then only the recognition of form will happen. Emotions are necessary to experience certain things in the world. Intellect is required for experiencing some thoughts, emotions, thoughts and ideas and values and all that. Each one is illumined by the subtler, the grosser is illumined by the subtler. Illumined in the sense empowered by. So if the physical body is there, it requires prana to empower it. Otherwise, this body can't function. If prana is there, it requires mind. Without that, the prana will not function properly. The mind requires the buddhi. Each one requires something or the other. Atma doesn't require anything. Atma is self-luminous, self-existent, swayambhu. To perceive the world, senses are required. To perceive emotions, mind is required. To perceive the thoughts, intellect is required. Some medium is required. And each medium is not functioning on its own. It is enlivened by the subtler, and all these together are enlivened by Atma. They can't be without the Atma, but Atma is without them. They don't derive the sentiency by themselves. They derive sentiency from the Atma. Atma doesn't derive sentiency from anything else. So we will conclude with this, where we chant every time, in the Arati. Na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam nema vidyuto bhanti kutoyam agnihi. The sun can't illumine that, the moon can't, the fire can't, nor the stars. All that when it is said. Tameva bhantam. It is because of your presence that all these are able to function. Anubhati sarvam. Tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. It is by the illumination of that infinite that all this is experienced by us. That is Swarat. Self-luminous, which does not need anything else to illuminate. which is known by itself without any medium. That is Swarat. Swamiji, how will I know I have realized the truth? Because it is self-luminous, it is evident. If there is a radium ball in the darkness, it shines on its own. You don't need a torchlight then to see radium ball. If there's something else which is not self-shining in the darkness, then I need some other light to see. This is self-shining, radium, like that. Sameva bhantam anubhati sarvam. That is Swarat. So the mind needs consciousness, prana needs consciousness, body needs consciousness. Consciousness needs nothing else. It is self-luminous. It is illumining everything. And that is what aham. That is the I. The truth is that. So this is a beautiful mantra number 8. For today we will stop here. Any questions? All right. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.